Unit 8, Lesson 2, Healthy Food Choices. Today we will talk about foods that you should eat more. These are green light foods. Foods that you should eat some. These are yellow light foods. And foods that you should eat less. These are red light foods. Remember, foods are not good or bad. There are just foods that we should eat more often and foods that we should eat only sometimes and foods that we should eat less than other times. Just remember that food is fuel, and there is good fuel and there is fuel that is not as good. Let's look at some ways we can choose healthy foods. All right, it is game time. So, if it is a green light food, you are going to march in place or wave your arms high in the air. If it is a yellow food, you are going to march or move your arms in slow motion. If it is red, you are going to sit still. Game time. Move your body according to the stoplight color. Green, march in place or wave your arms high in the air. Yellow, march or move your arms in slow motion. And red, sit still or stand still. Think your food. You can use a stoplight to help make nutritious food choices. All right, let's play candy. March, walk in place, or sit. Green light, yellow light, red light. If you're still sitting, you're exactly right. It's a red light food. We should only eat candy on special occasions, not very often, certainly not every day. Fresh vegetables. If you are up and marching in place, that is correct. Fresh vegetables are a green light food. Flavored yogurt. If you are just walking in place, you're exactly correct. Flavored yogurt is a yellow light food. Often, flavored yogurt has a tremendous amount of sugar, so we should only eat those sometimes. What about milk? If you are up and marching, you are correct. Milk is a green light food. It's good for your body and your brain. What about whole grain foods? If you are up and marching, you are correct. Whole grain foods are a green light food. What about white pasta and white bread? If you're up and walking in place, you are correct. White pasta and bread is a yellow light food or a sometimes food. It's not as good as the whole grain because they take some of the nutrition out when they make it white. What about cakes and donuts? I love donuts. However, donuts are a red light food, so you're supposed to eat less or eat those not very often. So I don't eat donuts every day. I only have them sometimes. What about ice cream? If you are still sitting, you are correct. Ice cream is a red light food. I love ice cream. It's so delicious. However, it does not have very much nutritional value and it usually has a lot of sugar. So that's definitely an eat less food. So I don't have ice cream every day. What about chips? If you are still sitting, you are correct. Chips are a red light food, so you eat them less often. I also love chips. However, I do not have them every day. What about fresh fruit? Fresh fruit is a green light option, therefore you should eat fresh fruit more often. And I love fresh fruit. What about canned fruit? Canned fruit is a yellow light option. Often canned fruit has sugar, but also it loses some of its nutritional value through processing. So it's better to eat fresh fruit. So canned fruit is a sometimes option. What about lean meat like chicken and fish? If you are up and marching, you are correct. Lean meat is a green light food or an eat more food. What about peanut butter? If you are up and walking, you are correct. Peanut butter is an excellent source of protein. However, it has a lot of fat, so it's not good for you to eat all the time, so it is a sometimes food or a yellow light food. What about vegetables with sauce or dressing like ranch? This one was tricky. It's a yellow light food. So if you had the vegetables all by themselves, they would be great, but the sauce is what makes them a yellow light food. Yellow light foods, the sauce or dressing usually has no nutritional value and is very high in fat. So try and eat your vegetables plain. What about fruit drinks? Fruit drinks are a red light food. They have a lot of sugar and usually no nutritional value. If you buy fruit drinks that are 100% fruit juice, those are obviously better for you, but they still have a lot of sugar and they don't have the fiber that the regular fruit does. So you're better off drinking water or sparkling water, something with no sugar. That is the end of our game. I hope you found it helpful to talk about red light foods, foods that we eat less, yellow light foods, foods that we eat sometimes, and green light foods, foods that we eat more often. These are foods that are good for our body and our brain. Today we played a game that helped us think about healthy food choices. Next, we will learn about healthy snacks. So think about your green light foods and trying to eat more of those, your yellow light foods and only eating some of those, and your red light foods, eating less of those. This lesson was brought to you by Miss Ford and inspired by Sanford Fit.